Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Rishika Barua. BJP's Tajinder Pal Bagga was dragged out of his house and arrested this morning from Delhi by the Punjab police. Now, this set off a dramatic showdown involving two political parties and police forces across 3 states. Bagga was being taken from Delhi and en route Punjab, the Punjab police was stopped by the Haryana police. So there was a dramatic face-off between the Punjab police and the Haryana police that took place in Kurukshetra in Haryana. Finally, the Delhi police managed to secure a warrant from the Dwarka court, which was essentially a search warrant. They then went to Kurukshetra and brought Tajinder Pal Bagga back to Delhi. So this is the drama that is unfolded through the course of the day. However, this is also very similar to what happened with Jignesh Mevani, who was arrested from Gujarat and taken to Assam. Both Jignesh Mevani and Bagga, remember, have been arrested, one for tweeting against Arvind Kejriwal and one for tweeting against the Prime Minister. Both were dragged out of their homes and, well, dragged across states. This has raised several questions on the conduct of the state police, whether the police are only acting at the behest of their political masters without any consideration for the rule of law. Here's the full story.
The starting of one of the most dramatic showdowns between separate police forces. At the heart was this man, Tajinder Bagga, a BJP youth leader. What followed was a day-long cat and mouse game, a political battle between the AAP and BJP, but played out by the police forces controlled by each one's government. The Punjab police arrested Bagga this morning for provocative statements promoting religious enmity and criminal intimidation after tweets against AAP's boss, Arvind Kejriwal.
आप ही बताइए, जब मेरे को पता नहीं है कि उठा के ले जाने वाला कौन है, कहाँ से आया है, कोई उनके पास गिरफ्तारी वारंट नहीं है, तो हम इसको किस श्रेणी में रखेंगे? तजिंदर ने कोई ऐसा ट्वीट नहीं किया जिससे सांप्रदायिकता फैले.
But to get back to AAP-governed Punjab, they had to get past the Delhi and Haryana police, both controlled by BJP government. At Kurukshetra, the Haryana police surrounded the Punjab police vehicle carrying Mr. Bagga and escorted them off highway to a police station in Kurukshetra. The Punjab cops were detained. A motorcade of Delhi cops led by a senior officer rushed there and freed Bagga from the Punjab police.
दिल्ली पुलिस ने गैर कानूनी तरीके से तजिंदर बग्गा को यहां से किडनैप किया. अरविंद केजरीवाल, जो कि कुछ दिन पहले ही अपने वीडियो के अंदर एक बात कह रहे हैं कि मुझे पुलिस मिल लेने दो, पुलिस एक बार मेरे हाथ में आ जाए तो इन लोगों को, 2-4 लोगों को जेल में बंद करूंगा तो इनका दिमाग ठीक हो जाएगा. आप उससे कल्पना करें कि पुलिस का इस्तेमाल और दुरुपयोग को किस कदर कर रहा होगा.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक गुंडों की पार्टी है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी लफंगों की पार्टी है. दंगे भड़काने वाले नेता हैं श्री तेजिंदर बग्गा.
You can see that we are a little bit behind the vehicle. You can see the Scorpio of Delhi police where they are escorting Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga to Delhi, and we are very close to Delhi border. I think in maximum in 15 minutes Delhi police will touch Delhi and Bagga will enter Delhi, and after that Bagga will be safe.
After Delhi police took Bagga's custody, Punjab government reached the High Court calling the intervention by Haryana police illegal. However, the High Court turned down Punjab government's request to keep BJP leader Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga in Haryana. Bagga's case drew a parallel with Gujarat MLA Jignesh Mevani. Mevani was arrested in Gujarat by Assam police within hours of an FIR being filed. While Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga was secured by Delhi police within a few hours, Jignesh Mevani had to spend several days in jail, and the big difference in Mevani's case was BJP in power in both the states. However, the common concern that still remains is the use of police to settle political scores, especially if it's over freedom of speech. With Ratandeep in Assam and Sourav Shukla in Kurukshetra, Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
All right, well, the other big story we're tracking, Sourav Ganguly hosted Home Minister Amit Shah for dinner at his home in Kolkata. The dinner said to be a courtesy call since the Union Home Minister's son Jai Shah and Ganguly are colleagues at the BCCI. Alok Pandey joins us with the very latest. Alok, what more can you tell us about this dinner meet?
Well, one fact that is certainly confirmed is that it was a vegetarian dinner. So, I mean, that is something that has been said to us by Sourav Ganguly, who said that it'll be a vegetarian dinner. But anyway, I think it's very interesting that the Home Minister chose to go to Sourav Ganguly's residence for dinner. Sourav Ganguly, of course, is an icon in West Bengal. Before the 2021 state election, there were these rumors going around that Sourav Ganguly would join the BJP. Sourav Ganguly would become the chief ministerial candidate. He kept on saying, I am not doing it, and he didn't do it, ultimately. But now again, the BJP is trying to, kind of revive its fortune, so to say. And again, you've had the Home Minister who led the 2021 campaign go and have dinner with Sourav Ganguly. Again, Sourav Ganguly said that, look, I know him for more than a decade. His son is working with me in the BCCI. That's why I invited him and he accepted, and that's why he's coming. But you see, speculations ka jo bazaar hai, wo garm hai fir se, if I can use a Hindi expression.
All right, Alok Pandey, thanks very much for joining us. Among other details, like Alok is reporting, it was a vegetarian dinner for starters. Thanks very much for joining us with those details. Well, Home Minister Amit Shah is in Kolkata, and this has happened on a day when a BJP worker was found dead. So all the welcome celebrations for the Home Minister were called off in Kolkata as a mark of respect. But what has followed is a bitter political war between the TMC and BJP over what the BJP calls is a political killing, accusing the TMC, a charge that the TMC has denied. Here's the full story.
The death by hanging of Arjun Chaurasia, a member of the BJP's youth wing in Kolkata, hours before Home Minister Amit Shah visited the city, the latest flashpoint between the BJP and the ruling TMC in Bengal. Chaurasia was to lead a bike rally later today to celebrate Amit Shah's visit. The Home Minister, after visiting Chaurasia's family right after landing in Kolkata, alleged this was a political murder by the ruling Trinamool Congress.
तृणमूल सरकार के 1 साल हुआ है, उसके दूसरे ही दिन बंगाल में राजनीतिक हिंसा, राजनीतिक हत्या का परंपरा फिर से शुरू किया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता अदालत के सामने गए हैं कि इसका वीडियोग्राफी के साथ पैनल पोस्टमार्टम हो और इसकी जांच सीबीआई को सौंपनी चाहिए।
Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, is at the residence of the BJP worker who was found dead and hanging in Kolkata earlier today. The worker's body has just been taken out, and that has happened after a lot of ruckus and a lot of protests by the BJP workers. So the situation here is that on one side you have the BJP that is protesting, and on the other side you have the Trinamool Congress that is opposing what the BJP is doing and saying that this is all politics, and at the end of the day, how can you judge or call anything a murder or suicide before a post-mortem has happened? All day at the spot where the BJP worker was found hanging, BJP and TMC workers faced one another, shouting slogans and even clashing on and off. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's party denied the BJP's murder charge, calling the allegations baseless.
When the body is not postmortem, how can you judge that that is murder or suicide? All are outsiders. They have no right to agitate here. They have no right to agitate here. They are trying to political gain. That is why they have come here. All outsiders.
Right.
And they are calling Amit Shah. So I ask them, call Pradhanendra Modi.
This was Mr. Shah's first visit to Bengal since the BJP lost the state election last year. Since the defeat, the BJP has faced defections and losses in Assembly and Lok Sabha by-polls, a situation the Home Minister sought to address in his two-day Bengal visit. In Kolkata with camera person G.D. Shankar, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And while the battle for Telangana, it appears, has intensified after BJP President JP Nadda's visit, Rahul Gandhi is also in the state. Rahul Gandhi addressed a rally just a short while ago. Now, this, interestingly, is also Rahul Gandhi's first public appearance after the controversy surrounding the video of him partying in Nepal that went viral, with the BJP lashing out at Rahul Gandhi, saying that while his party is in crisis, Rahul Gandhi is partying. Well, it seems like he's back on the job. Here's what he said in Telangana today.
पूरा तेलंगाना देख सकता है कि एक परिवार को जबरदस्त फायदा हुआ तेलंगाना की जनता को क्या फायदा मिला? क्या आपको रोजगार मिला? आज यहां पर किसानों की विधवा स्टेज पे हैं, रो रही हैं। ये किसकी जिम्मेदारी है?
And while the World Health Organization report claiming that 47 lakh COVID deaths were caused in India, took place in India rather, versus the 5.2 lakh that have been reported by the government, has created a huge storm, with many in India now questioning not just the mathematical model on the basis of which the WHO has come out with this data, but also questioning how the WHO has in fact accepted the data from China.
India's leading pandemic officials have hit out at WHO's controversial report, according to which India's excess deaths in the first 2 years of the pandemic are over 47 lakh, which is almost 10 times the official figure. They say mathematical modelling should have been avoided.
India is just not uncomfortable because these are untenable figures. The way WHO has put us in tier 2 countries where no data is available, where modelling and estimates are done, whereas we as India has very robust CRS system, there is no harm in saying that 10 to 15% deaths or up to 20% deaths may have been missed.
Dr. Shashank Joshi of the Maharashtra Task Force called it speculative and arbitrary. What makes the report sting more is that it says China recorded 52,000 fewer deaths amid the COVID crisis as compared to a non-pandemic year, while India recorded the biggest excess in the world. The WHO says fewer deaths may have occurred during the pandemic if a country imposes lockdowns, enforces masking. This reduces death due to other causes, and Australia, Japan and New Zealand have also recorded fewer deaths than normal. Now on the WHO's methodology. If limited data was available, the WHO relied on extrapolation. They said there was no national level data provided for India. Only 17 out of 26 states provided data, and that too at irregular intervals. China, on the other hand, provided monthly province-level data and annual national-level data. According to the WHO, India is the most complex sub-national scenario data-wise. The WHO is sticking to its report. Acknowledging the controversy, it says the figures are an approximation of reality.
Numbers are sometimes controversial. We have to recognize that the estimates are an approximation of a reality.
Notably, WHO's number is broadly in line with 3 other estimates by the renowned Lancet Journal, The Economist and the Centre for Global Development. All 4 estimates say that India's actual COVID death toll may be between 8.5 and 11 times more than the actual count. The government says it has sought a response from the WHO, but it's yet to hear back. In New Delhi, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
And while in May last year, Vanisha Pathak lost her parents to COVID-19 and still secured a 99.8% in the CBSE Class 10 exams, topping the Madhya Pradesh board. Vanisha and her 11-year-old brother Vivan now live with their maternal aunt and uncle. Here's their story 1 year after the devastating second wave of COVID.
100 in English, Sanskrit, Science and Social Science Class 10 CBSE exams and 97 in Mathematics. An incredible achievement for any student, but a particularly proud yet poignant one for 17-year-old Vanisha, who lost her parents to COVID-19 exactly a year ago. A topper in class 11th, now with support from her maternal uncle and cousins, her target is to crack the IITs next year.
संभालने में ही काफ़ी टाइम लगा, उसके बाद फिर अपनी पढ़ाई को साथ साथ कंटिन्यू रख के जो भी जितने भी जैसे सर्कमस्टांसेस आते जा रहे थे उसको एक साथ रखना, उसको एक साथ संभालना काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट रहा.
A once bustling and cheerful household is picking up the pieces slowly, but still harassing her are calls from banks to recover loans.
इनके पिताजी ने मकान बना रहे थे, वो उसका हाउस लोन था उनका, क्योंकि बच्चे नाबालिग हैं. मैं अभी लीगल गार्जियन नहीं बना हूँ, सरकार ने मुझको इनका संरक्षक बनाया है.
विवान तो थोड़ा सीरियस हो गया तो उसको लगता है दीदी कर रही है तो मुझे भी पढ़ना है, तो उनको अब खेल में, स्पोर्ट्स में, अब समर वेकेशन में इनके समर कैंप्स हैं.
बच्चों की मानसिक स्थिति तो बदलती रही, बनती बिगड़ती रही.
Government has accepted the fact that Vanisha was orphaned because of COVID, but many kids are still struggling. Even we reported how the crematoriums recorded more deaths in a day than what the state or the district claimed. In Bhopal, with camera person Rizwan Khan and Anurag Dwari for NDTV.
And while the other big political development we're tracking today, Prashant Kishore has in fact hit back at Nitish Kumar a day after he made announcements for his Padyatra and Mission Bihar. Prashant Kishore has reacted to Nitish Kumar's comments, saying that his opinion is not important. Now, Prashant Kishore has lashed out and said that after 30 years of a JDU-RJD rule, Bihar is still among the most backward and poorest states in the country. Bihar needs a new vision, and that is going to come from its people. So this, of course, is the latest political face-off between Prashant Kishore and Nitish Kumar.